Purple eye in the canyon. That's where I
Yeah.
wanna be.
That took a while to
Well,
figure
those
out.
would be some control issues on your part, maybe, but we don't have to talk about that.
Well, I'm just a big fitness guy. You know, I like to
You know,
hold people
that's
accountable.
one reason I'm here is because of fitness. It
Yeah.
is.
Is
It
it?
is. So
Okay.
Steve knows Bill Corbin.
Oh, this is real.
This is real.
Oh, okay. I thought we were in a bit. All right.
No, I love bits, but I
Okay.
also love it when you don't know.
I think I knew that. I've talked to you for like 5 minutes, like first time I met you, and I
Yeah.
was like, okay. I'm like,
Back at not the old Lolas, but the newer Lolas that's no longer Lolas
yeah, it was a while ago.
for a ranch something. Yeah.
Anyways, you had met Bill Corbin.
Bill, yeah, I work out with him every morning.
Oh, really?
And every morning that I can. And Steve knows him. And
Yeah, badass bass player,
yeah, and just badass guy, you know.
cool person.
Yeah. He's a cool guy.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, he's a good bass player.
Yeah, he's a great bass player. We
I'm
like
just
to
kidding. He's
talk
cool.
gear while I'm doing lunges
Has he played with you?
or punishers, as I call them.
What?
You remember in high school? Where'd you go to high school?
Decatur?
Okay. So in my day, I don't know if this is real other places, but like you would get in trouble if you didn't get a good score on a test or how many minutes you were late to whatever happened in the week at school. You'd get in trouble at athletics workout and you would be punished by doing lunges or running lines
Oh, yeah.
in the basketball gym. And so anytime we had to do them this morning, anytime Bill's like, okay, walking lunges from here to here, I'm like, punishers.
Is it because you did something?
No, it's
Oh.
because they're a great workout
Oh,
for my goals. And
because he's jacked.
he has a bad shoulder right
Okay.
now.
Yeah.
So do I. So I'm pointing at mine. And he benched almost 400 pounds. With a bad shoulder, with a good shoulder, he could have done 400. You know, I think of pounds and feed sacks because one feed sack's 50 pounds. So I think that mother trucker just benched 4 feed sacks.
I'm not great at geology though, but I don't know.
I would never go to a female geologist. I would only go to males. It's weird.
What is a geologist?
That's rocks.
Oh yeah, that's right.
No, that's maps.
I thought that
Just
that
kidding.
was. I thought that was like long algebra.
I prefer short algebra. Who has time for long algebra these
Long
days?
division, but short
God.
algebra.
We have the internet. Who needs long algebra anymore? God.
Yeah, with that was already
Just
happening.
chat GPS it, y'all. Forget it.
But now see, that is geography. Now we're into geography. I'm pretty sharp. I'm
You
pretty
are.
sharp.
Yep, you are. Some cowboys got smarts real good, don't they?
Yeah. I got a bunch of them. Yeah, I'm horrible at math. Like literally when you said the 50-pound feed sack thing and
Yeah.
you were getting to 400, I had a little like heart flutter.
That's pretty simple math.
Oh, yeah. No, when I
Did I
say
intimidate you, Jarrod?
the math does.
No, I taught 3rd grade math for 12 years before I was full-time music.
Okay, so that's how, because you didn't put out your first record till 21.
No, I put out a short EP in 2016, but it doesn't matter.
Well, so first full record was 21.
2021.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
not that long ago. I guess I just didn't know. I just didn't know that.
That's okay. I've always been kind of in the scene,
Yeah.
but I didn't all the way jump in until the age of 39.
Well, when you
And
say
then COVID happened.
yeah, perfect timing. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
I put out my first record in 19, so it hit right in
Oh,
20.
I bet it did great.
Maybe. Yeah, there's probably 2 ways of looking at it.
Who cares really also, you know?
Oh, shoot. Yeah, what are you going to do about it? I just don't really focus on it.
You know, they always say that you'll start seeing better success when you stop caring what people think.
Hmm.
But isn't people liking your stuff what keeps you going in this business? So I don't really get that. I mean, I get it a little bit, but maybe I don't. I don't know.
Yeah, I care what people think. Some people.
True. Or sometimes you care about it to a point.
Yeah.
Like feedback. I want to know all the feedback. I'll choose what I want to fix of that, like what I want to listen to or not.
Yeah, wasn't music, well, for me, it was always a collaborative type event. Like,
No, I hate everyone else. I don't want
oh,
to collaborate.
yes, you are a cat person. That's right.
No, I'm kidding.
Uh,
Yeah, it is collaborative.
right?
Yeah, and timing, and then it's collaborative in a lot of angles because it's got to be collaborative with the timing, and it's got to be collaborative with your people and with your fans, and so
So if you were on just a desert island, would you still play and sing and write songs the same way with as much attention?
you know what?
If you were stuck with
Shamefully,
no,
probably not.
see, we do care what people
I
think.
do. I write a song a week, and I
Okay.
have for I guess 3.5 years now. And some of the songs I do write because it just felt great, or it felt right, or there was just a story in my mind based on something, and I want to get it out. And my last album is a lot of that. I wasn't writing too much about. Everyone's different. I guess sometimes I write a song because a lot of people dance to this one cover that I do, or so I'll think about that and keep that in mind and try to write one that's going to keep people on the floor because I don't want to do that cover anymore. I want to do more of my originals, and so that was a transition for me. So some of the songs, have a purpose to them, and some of them don't. On the same record.
Yeah,
know?
I just don't think it's mutually exclusive. Like whether or not you care what people think or you don't care what people think. I think there's some gray area. Like you can like what you're putting out, and also the people you're putting it out to enjoy it as well. I just don't find those to be mutually exclusive.
Have you ever put something out and then people talk to you about it and they get something from it that you never
Oh yeah,
thought of, and you're like, oh dang, that's way more intelligent than what I
Yeah.
was thinking.
yeah. Like they think it's bad, and I thought it was awesome. I will say I've never put
That's
out.
when you need to not care.
Yeah, well,
When you think it's awesome.
Well, yeah, because I guess that's the part you have to. I guess the starting point would be you have to. Like I've never done anything that I don't like is just pandering, and I'm like, well, I think this will just work, but I don't like it.
even like
I've never done that.
beginning stuff.
Maybe. Well, the first songs I ever wrote probably were pandering,
Yeah.
but I didn't put them out or anything. I just
Yeah.
scrapped them. So there hasn't been anything, fortunately, I guess, that I've put out there's stuff that I've thought is going to do well and it doesn't, but I like it. I like
Yeah.
it a lot.
Yeah.
And it's weird. Like I mean, I'm sure you've been around a lot of people that have massive success, but I don't think that they really like their work that much. But they might be really successful,
Mm.
and they have like a weird, almost resentment towards their fans, or almost like a pretentiousness towards them. Like they
Oh,
kind of
like,
think their
"You
fans are
idiots."
idiots
Yeah.
a little bit. That's kind of the vibe I get
I think,
sometimes.
I think everyone, including myself, including you too, is a little bit of an idiot. We all are.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get that. I never thought about that before. I
Yeah.
haven't thought about that before. I guess I can think of a couple artists that I know that have are successful, but have maybe evolved. And so when people hang on to their beginning stuff that they don't relate to anymore,
Mm,
really,
yeah.
they might see that as something. But I don't know. I guess I hadn't thought about that very much.
It's more of just an observation.
Yeah.
But I'd be curious, like so you said you already taught school for a long time.
Yeah.
Before you actually really got into music.
Yeah. And I even entered teaching school late.
What'd you do before that?
Oh, I've done ranch real estate. I taught school, and then I opened a store for a while with a business partner, and that went as business partners go. And then got a real estate license, and then went back to teaching school. Yeah, so a little bit of all of it. I never. I went to college at Tech, and I majored in ag communications, and because growing up around here, that's what you did. If you're an FFA girl, I just kind of followed what you did. I followed what was protocol for girls like me, and I don't regret. I mean, no regrets, but I don't think I paid attention to what I really was led by and what really fueled me. I still love the agricultural life. It's my platform, using other things. And at the end of every set, I say, please remember, if it wasn't for agriculture, you'd be hungry and naked. Support your farmers and ranchers the best you can. I say it every single show. It's my platform in life. It's my platform in my parents' life and their parents' life and my brother's life. But I was trying to make my life that, and because that's what you did. And my big brother was a state FFA officer. I was an area officer. I just followed what you do. So, it wasn't till, and then, I went and got my teaching certificate because I'm like, oh, I can work anywhere in Texas and be a lovely little wife and mom. And, wherever his ranch is, I can be there and work and have a job. And I was just setting myself up for that life. And had never lined up. I never felt right. I never did any of that. So then I just started doing what felt right later in life.
Yeah. Why did it not feel right?
I don't know. It always felt, I don't mean this offensive, but it always felt like that life was settling. I always felt like if I get married and I have kids and I move to, I don't know, Marathon or something, and I'm ranching out there, that'd be beautiful. And I would love that. And that's kind of how I want to bookend things, But I always felt like I was settling by doing that. And this is weird for a woman to say how I grew up, but I always felt like women that fell into that life had chosen something other than themselves, which is a very selfless thing to do. But I always just saw it as like settling, like, no, I can't do what I really want to do and have kids. I can't get all that done. And so because I was feeling that internally, I was fighting it because it felt unfeminine. It felt unchristian. It felt like not in line with the women before me, my family, who I love so much, and our wonderful, strong mothers and ladies in the church. And so I fought it for a long time, thinking that there was something sinful or not feminine enough about me because I didn't want the kiddos and the little life. And so I fought it for a long time with all these jobs and trying to figure it out. And that finally was just like, I just want to do I want to do what feels personal to me and what feels me up, So I just kind of quit worrying about trying to force this other stuff. That's what I mean by it, I guess, for a very long answer. And now I've learned, and I'm not a feminist and I'm not anything like that, or I just have learned that the husband and kids does not fulfill you as a woman. I can be really feminine and independent and soft and hard and still be a woman and feminine. It doesn't take this one version of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel like which side of the coin do you think society leans towards in terms of where they encourage women to go nowadays?
I don't think it matters as much anymore. I think women and men have done a good job of seeing things wider, especially as generations progress. I love, my mom told me once, I was kind of depressed and feeling weird in life. And my mom was like, well, if you just get married and have kids, your problems would be solved.
Okay.
Good Lord. No, I had other things, but that's where we come from, just building this perfect looking life versus feeling great about yourself and being fulfilled in that. Sometimes I feel like that's selfish, but it wasn't until I have a wonderful family and they're very proud of me. But it wasn't until I booked my first Grand Ole Opry debut this past couple of months ago. My mom was like, I'm so proud of your accomplishments. And it was one of the first times that I felt fulfilled as a woman and as a human based on my personal goals and my achievements, not through kids or a husband.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool.
I think there's a flip side to that too, though, that the more traditional lifestyle for a man, isn't particularly glamorous either, though.
Yeah.
Because we're just talking, because the flip side of what you're talking about is like finding a guy that's just gonna work his ass off on a ranch and raise kids. Like there's elements of that are fulfilling, but it's like you see some people that go through life that they find like their entire, I guess it exists in every walk of life, whether it's a musician that finds their entire identity in like what they do for a living, or there's parents that find their entire identity in just like raising kids.
Yeah.
And I just think there's probably a little bit more nuance to life. And if you put like so much hope and trust in just mostly things of this world, it's probably going to come up a little bit short and unfulfilling in
You're
my
totally
experience.
Right. That's maybe what I needed to find earlier is that maybe the answer is not this or that. Maybe the answer is that it's one thing. Don't put it all in one thing.
I had somebody say the other day that it's not as much what you do, but how you do it.
Sure. That's cool.
Like you could do a lot of different stuff. What what do you do for a living? Like that is what like identifies you as like a person. Like, oh, I'm an accountant. Oh, wow, cool. It's like, well, what if you're a huge dick?
Yeah.
Like how you do it to
me
me
do you do
is
for a living? I'm just an asshole.
Yeah, right.
In life.
Yeah, if we were probably a little bit more honest. Yeah, what do you do for a living? Well, I don't know. I wake up at 5 a.m. pretty pissed off and ungrateful, and then I go to the convenience store and like I'm a little bit short with the little clerk at the front, and then like I honk at somebody on the way there.
Yeah, get a piece of junk coffee.
That's like how you're doing it.
Yeah. You know, don't you love it when people tell you a little saying like it's not what you're doing, but how you do it? And sometimes that's a simple little saying, and then sometimes it's so freaking profound because you needed to hear it at that moment.
Oh,
just an easy little thing, easy little tidbit. But
that's why I love the like convenience store early morning small town coffee with like the old men sitting around there. They talk a lot of BS, but they'll usually just always have those little like you're walking out the door. Good to see you, and they're like, yeah, just remember, what you do, but how you do it.
Oh dang!
You're like lost all day. Like, why do you do that to me?
No,
just a passing statement.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of other ones that have been rolled out to me like that. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, so the Opry thing was probably gnarly.
I wish that for every country music performer, because it's been my dream since a little girl. I either wanted to be Miss Texas or I wanted to sing on the Opry. I wanted to be either one. I
wanted to be Miss
I never
Texas
dreamt
too.
of my wedding.
Yeah.
I dreamt of getting crowned Miss Texas or I never thought, what are my kids' names going to be? Like, no, I was like, what am I going to wear in the Opry? And I manifested, I don't know if that's a real thing or not, but I do believe that if you have specific goals and you make decisions based on those goals, then maybe that's manifestation. Like if you know what you want, then you can make really decisive decisions based on where you want to go. If you see yourself 20 years from now, Anyway, but the Opry, it was magic. And it went as I envisioned because my hero, Connie Smith, was there. And she's married Marty Stuart, and we've played for Marty a couple times. And I told Marty when we opened for him, it's a pleasure to open for Connie Smith's husband. This means the world to me. She's my hero, and she was there. And I got to hug her, and I was crying like ugly cries. I couldn't even look at her face without crying. It was stupid.
Was this during the
I was gurming
rehearsal?
her big time.
Yeah. Was it during the rehearsal or like when you right before you like?
This was before rehearsal.
Okay.
I saw her after the show too. And she did Hinges on the Door, which is one of my favorite that we cover when we do dance hall shows. And it was amazing. My favorite part of the day. And we stayed in Hank Snow's house. It's an Airbnb in Nashville. You can stay in Madison that you can stay in Hank Snow's house.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And they let me bring my whole band, which we're just a 4-piece right now. And when you debut on the Opry, you can only bring 2 players. So, but they let me bring for 3, so I got to have my whole band.
Oh, wow.
Which was really special and made me way more comfortable.
What's the difference with using their house band?
Nothing.
Can you do that?
They're some of the best players ever.
Are you allowed to?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I am lucky that I have had the same rhythm section and some of the same roster of lead players for 6 or 7 years. And that's hard to find.
Almost impossible.
Yeah. And have a good relationship. I just wanted them to have the opportunity. Those guys are the reason I sound the way I sound. Like I may drive the bus figuratively and literally. It's no bus, just a van. But I they're a lot of the reason why I groove the way I groove and sound the way I sound. So they deserve that experience up there. But the rehearsal was cool. You go around this dark stage and then you see the stage and you look out and you just see it all. It's crazy. And so I stepped into the circle and there's like a light on the stage around the circle and everything. The sound guy was like, "Oh, you have an XLR, blah, blah, blah. Is that what you need?" And I was like, "No, I need 30 seconds."
Yeah.
Yeah, just let me breathe this air right here. It was cool. It was awesome.
But it's not the original.
No, we were
Yeah.
not in the Ryman. It is the original circle.
Have you played the Ryman?
They moved that. No,
or
no.
sang in there or anything?
I mean, on a tour. I toured the Ryman as a visitor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they let you get up and take a picture on the stage.
Yeah.
And there was like this beautiful Martin guitar sitting there.
Yeah.
I was like,
Can I
just
just
no,
sing?
I didn't ask.
Oh.
So I strummed it and it was in tune. So I just picked it up and sang a Kitty Wells song because she was the first female in the opera. So I sang Kitty Wells real quick and my mom got a video of it. So technically, same at the Ryman.
Yeah, but that's the whole point.
Have I been invited? No.
Hey, that would probably be a classic moment though, that was like just for you, regardless of anybody being there or anybody like having fans there or anything like that. That was just
Yeah.
like a moment for yourself.
Yeah, it was cool.
I had that at Green Hall first time I played there. Actually, first and second time, but it was just during sound check.
Yeah, because that's your first time.
Yeah.
Because when the crowd's there, you kind of go into show mode and you kind of turn a lot more things on.
Mhm.
You shift. You get it, and you're still you, but you're performing.
Yeah.
For your fans. But sound check that's always the time.
And you don't have bodies to like soak up the reverb. So it's like there's
Oh.
something about like you can just feel that like slap off the back wall,
Yeah.
and just like the wobble between the wood and stuff.
Feel it.
Yeah.
Feel the ghosts.
And just that. And I'm
Did you go in the Willie door?
yeah.
I mean, you got to.
Yeah. I'm like a kind of irreverent person to a certain degree. I don't know where I get that from. Well, my family was always like really like especially like cousins and stuff we're like we're at times a pretty tough hang. And we can be pretty hard on people. So it's like if
So
they
you're assholes?
Yeah, probably.
Jerks?
Yeah.
Okay.
If they sniff even a little bit of you caring a little bit too much about something, they're just gonna like crush your soul, basically.
Oh, sure.
Got
Okay.
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So you're always kind of trying to play it cool a little bit. Like you don't want to
Yeah.
show your whole card.
Okay, I get it. Yeah.
And so I think I don't know, that might be like something that I've just developed. Like no matter, like even when I went to the Opry for the first time, I didn't play or anything. I just went. There's like this kind of just almost a little shitty part of me that's like, well, I mean,
Well, this is an industry.
but it's
of-
almost a defense mechanism, I think.
it's a guard for sure,
Yeah.
but this is an industry of cool.
Okay. Yeah.
We've got to play it cool. Like you can be back. Like that's why I was a little embarrassed of crying in front of Connie because I was like, we're backstage. Like this should be a chill. Like it's an industry of cool. You meet your heroes backstage at these festivals, and you have to just, what's up?
I have yet to figure out how to really play that. Because I will just tell somebody like, I'm a huge fan.
Yeah.
Not like, I don't get weird, but I'm like, I love this song.
Well, look at it this way. If a fan comes up to you and says that, you're very grateful and you love that.
Yeah.
But if a peer or colleague comes up and says that, like that means
Yeah, like
because
I
they're
don't.
listening differently than a fan does.
Oh, 100%.
I love fans and we all need them, but I want to make sure I don't diss that. But like that's why I think you should tell these people.
Okay.
Like I got to meet Steve Earle, and I didn't go crazy, but I was like, dude, like this is so cool to hear you. You're such an influence, and like I'm just a nerd about you. This is cool. I'm sorry I'm gurming you, but
Well, it tells me, I'm not, I guess, afraid. I'm glad you're like that too, because I'm not afraid to do it, because it actually kind of shows me, like, depending on their reaction, it kind of shows me who they are.
it's a whole conversation
And
about
it's-
when you meet them.
Huh?
It's a whole conversation about the meeting your heroes. Type
Oh,
of thing.
yeah. Because, like, if they think I'm being weird, I'm like, oh, I was being
Yeah.
really nice.
Yeah, be genuine, be
Huh.
cool, dude. Be sweet.
Interesting. I don't like you as much anymore.
I guess also though, we all have those days. Like who knows what day of tour it is? Who knows like how their sound check went?
Yeah.
But yeah, you gotta when I'm at you gotta words are gonna come out. They are right now. I'm being weird. You still have to be nice to people though, no matter how shitty it all feels sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, especially if somebody's got like a very specific Like, I love how you're freaking whatever. Second verse of this song specifically, there's this guitar part that comes in.
Yeah.
Like,
Or they bring up like a B-side obscure
yeah.
song of yours, and you're like, you listen. Like, you really listen to my album. You're bringing up a song, a talking poem song I have about baling wire,
Yeah.
and you're relating it to it because you grew up on a ranch like me. Like, that's cool, you know? Like, I don't know. Yeah, it's cool when they like your hits, when they like your obscures. That's neat.
Yeah, definitely. I can just appreciate somebody having the confidence to compliment somebody else. I feel like that's getting more rare nowadays.
Yeah.
It takes
Especially
a lot
artist to artist.
especially. Like
Yeah.
genuine, not like great set, bro.
How do you feel about, I think great set, bro.
Killer set.
I think that is a diss.
Yeah, don't
Don't
that was
say a
worse than
damn word.
that's
If
a
my
li-
set
yeah.
was bad, you leave me alone. Don't say anything to me.
Yeah, because
Don't
if,
tell me great set, bro.
if the set did like crush, I'm talking like palm of your hand, like you crush, burn the place down. No one says great set, bro.
No, they don't. They're like, whoa.
They're like, "Oh, yeah."
Ooh, and they go off.
So it's like,
yeah.
don't do that to me. But again, most musicians, like all of us, or most of us, are like kind of like outsiders, and we weren't like particularly like super social creatures at some point in my
Yeah.
life. So I think we're a little bit clunky socially. So I try to like
Probably.
a lot of them, you know, or like a lot of players. I mean, because like shoot, they had to sit there for 20 years of their life.
Yeah, they're band nerds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's like sometimes it comes out maybe, and they're probably walking away like, "What fucking good set, bro? Why did I say that?" You know. So it's
Or
like,
like-
you cut, you know.
What if you walked off this festival set and you feel like you crushed it, and somebody goes, "Good set, bro," and you're like, "Oh, was it bad?
I immediately.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh shoot!
I tried so hard."
Actually, thought it was pretty good. Yeah, that happens to me a lot.
No, it
Great
doesn't.
set, bro.
No, it doesn't. Good set, bro.
Yeah, but like if
Every time I see you, I'm going to say that now. Good set, bro.
yeah, please do.
Yeah, follow it with like a squish face.
No, don't even do the squish face. Just send me a text with only the squish face, the emoji, like after you said it.
When people give me a thumbs up to a text, I never see it as like, got it. I see it as like
It's a bit like a K.
a lowercase K.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Jeez, take it easy.
I try not to care about that stuff, but I just do.
Yeah,
I
but
do.
it's social. I mean, it's unacceptable.
Ugh,
It is just it's fighting words.
I guess it is.
Same as bud, chief, sport,
What's a-
champ. What can I get you, bud? I'm like, all right, well, you can.
Guess I'm
We could go
fucking
outside
fist in
and
the-
fight.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just dropped an F bomb.
Oh, it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Bleep beep.
You do you. Not very Christian and feminine.
know
of
it's
you,
not.
though,
It's
but,
very-
you know.
It's not. It's not. Damn it. Damn it.
It's okay.
not.
We'll work through it.
My mom will call.
Yeah. So your parents still ranch?
Yeah. Yeah, Clay County, right off 287, just further down the road.
Yeah. I guess I didn't totally realize you were from out here.
Yeah, I went to school in Jacksboro,
Okay.
and my granddad was running our place.
This is like generational ranch.
Mhm.
That's sick.
It is sick. I'm very
Oh, it's so
proud
cool.
of it. I'm scared. This is super like my personal life, but I'm a little scared for when it's my turn. My brother is extremely capable of it. My brother lives in Poth, outside Floresville, outside San Antonio, and he's got a meats company called Dean and Peeler. He's got his PhD in beef cattle genetics, and he's a Dr. Dustin Dean. Like, he's an awesome guy,
Wow.
and he's extremely capable to do to run everything. But he's in South Texas, and he's got 2 kids and a wife, and putting deeper roots down there. So I'm like, oh crap, it's gonna be me, and I'm a honky tonker, you know. So I certainly don't put anything past. I've
So
learned
there's
to.
only 2 siblings.
Yep.
Oh wow.
I've learned to not limit myself, you know, and I understand everything, but like, I do get scared. So I'm in the market for a ranching husband.
There you go.
I'm gone all the time. And I need help on a ranch. So
That sounds
put that out there.
sarcastic, but
Y'all DM me.
it's
I'm
kinda not.
actually TM.
It's like a
like-
very real reality of life.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
It really is. I mean, I do. Yeah, there might be some things that you can't hold me down with your thumb and stuff. But like, if you're an independent guy running a ranch and you're of age, somebody asked me, I told 2025 I'm going to like put it out there and try to date because I've never give it any much importance. I had one boyfriend in my life and he had a stroke at 41. It changed him and we broke up. He didn't die. And, but so I've been telling people like 2025, I'm going to try to date more, you know? So I've been telling a lot of my guy friends that I like and I like what they do. And I think that they probably have friends that would get me. Cause there's the showbiz side of all this, you know, but then there's just the small town girl that grew up a Baptist and likes to cook and wear aprons and likes my grandma's china, you know? So, I've been telling these guys, set me up, be thinking about it when you've got single or divorced friends, right?
Yeah.
And they said, what's your age bracket? And that's really weird because I am older than my job. I'm physically older than my job. I'm mentally older than my job. And so like I'll be 45 this month. So it's like I was like, I guess between 35 and 55. But like there's guys that are 35 and freaking babies.
Oh, yeah.
And there's guys that are 35 and completely mature and capable.
Yeah,
and there's
50-year-olds that are like babies.
Yeah, and there's 55-year-olds that are like pawpaws already.
Yeah.
And then there's 55-year-olds that can hang.
And there's 28-year-olds that act like 60-year-olds.
There are.
Yeah.
There are. So, you know.
I have never cared about age. Like in the sense of like who I hang out with, who I like who I don't like. It's just never real. Like people just kind of look different. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I've just always had like a deep respect for older people.
Yeah.
And I just have always thought it was bizarre that our culture put so much emphasis on being young. It's like you're just in it. You don't know anything.
And looking young. Like as a woman,
Oh,
that's
sure.
the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like letting my gray hair grow out and all this. I'm just trying to embrace. Like I don't mind aging. I don't want to look bad,
Yeah.
you know, but I don't mind aging. And I think the more women do that, the more women embrace the gray hair and the wrinkles and the changing of the way you look.
Yeah.
Like the more normal it will be. Like quit fighting it
Yeah.
and just go with it.
Yeah.
You know, lean in.
But like, why does it? Because a lot of other cultures around the world don't like. They have seems like more respect for elders than our culture. Ours is like so upset. Whether like it's like young people just drive like what's popular. You get a bunch of like 55 and 60-year-olds that are like obsessed with whether it's music or how you decorate your house because of how like a 22-year-old.
Dude,
likes to do it.
What the big industry people say that the target audience for our music is like what, 18 to 25?
Probably even younger.
You know, that brings up a whole nother thing. We're just going to keep looping these conversations around. Like people, like this whole resurgence of the 90s and aughts country.
Uh-huh. That doesn't sound like it.
Well, it's fine. I don't know. I'm not going to.
Well, the records
I'm not giving too many
the
opinions
records don't
to those.
sound like it.
Well, we don't want too much of that same production, TBH. I don't know, whatever. I guess what I mean is, you know, there's this constant argument of what's real country and what's not. And I'm so tired. Everybody has their personal opinion for sure. But I'm so tired of that argument. And so I was talking to people and I was like, it's a movable target. It's a movable dough, right? Because that's my song. No, it's okay. Everything starts at different for other people. So these kids in the target bracket that are, say, 22 years old, they want to drink. So the bars want them to come, right? So that's our bracket. Let's say a 22-year-old kid. He grew up listening to the 90s country. That was from his parents grew up with 90s country.
Yeah.
So like, that's why I love the 70s and 80s so much. Like, and then some people say, oh, like traditional country's George Strait. Somebody's like, oh, no, traditional country's Ray Price. And then people say, no, traditional country is Hank Williams. And no, traditional country is the Carter family.
Oh, it's an exhausting conversation.
It's an exhausting conversation. I just had an interview Friday with this publication in New York City. And they wanted to interview me as an outsider that plays in New York City a couple of times a year. And we always have a great crowd, and it's really fun. And so there's this kind of all these venues and bars and stuff, clubs opening up in New York that are country themed.
Cool.
And it's great, right?
Hey, this shirt.
And
This
it's
is dinner service. This is a New York company.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's going to go with this point big time. So it's starting all these opinions. And people are like, oh, that's not a real place. That place isn't real country. This place isn't real country. And this guy's talking to me about these arguments they're having in New York.
Mm.
And they're like, well, that's not the way the Texas dance hall does it. That's not the way this. And the guy was like, well, you play this certain venue. They're calling it just like a Texas honky tonk. Can you tell me the differences of what it really is and really isn't? And I was like, yeah, I can. Like, there are some protocols that you guys aren't doing up there, but it doesn't matter. You know why? Because you're not a Texas honky
You're
tonk.
not.
You're a New York honky tonk.
Yeah, I would lean into like a New York honky tonk. That's
exactly.
way cooler.
That's cool to me.
100%.
I want to go play that. And then
Yeah, it's like going to Japan and wanting to get a cheeseburger. It's like,
yeah, it's like,
what?
no, lean in.
Yeah.
And so I was like, you need all sides. Like, there's some people, don't go to that place. It's not real. And the guy was like, I feel silly because we're all in New York. Like, none of it's real. And I was like, no, it is real. Just quit trying to make it Texas, because you're not. Like, we're not trying to be New York.
Yeah.
You know?
That's what makes Texas cool.
Well, I said, if you guys can just stick to what you're doing and keep learning your rules of how to do it, and you can only break the rules if you know the rules. So keep trying things and keep learning and keep feeding from everything around you. I was like, there's a Texas country music sound. There's a Nashville country music sound. There's a California country music sound. So 10, 20 years from now, we're going to have a New York country music sound.
Yeah.
And who knows what that's going to sound like.
Yeah.
Like, so much of what Texas sound is from the dirt on our boots, because that's what we're around all the time.
Yeah.
And like Nashville has the hills, and so we're around that, you know, and California's got their sound. So New York, what are you around? Like, so as outsider playing New York, like, you just keep being you. Do your version of it.
Yeah, I agree.
Quit trying to be Texas, because you can't.
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
You can't, and you can't.
That was a great monologue on like how to just be yourself and do your own thing.
It's hard though. Because
in the creative I always say, like, I think people that don't like create music might be, I don't know if they would be pleasantly surprised. They might be disappointingly surprised in the creative process, like in the studio when you're making music. They might be a little disappointed with how many different genres and references get thrown out. When you could be making, like, we are making a 70s honky-tonk record, and they might be shocked some of the references that they would hear from, like, the drummer or the bass player. Like, oh, no, I'm kind of getting, like, a little bit of, like, a Police thing here. And it might throw them for a loop. Like, wait, hold on. I thought that this was, like, you know, for instance, like a lot of Merle Haggard stuff, his drummers, like, they were some of the first guys that did this. Like, they would track two drums on top of each other.
Yes.
And it had this very funky.
That's why
like,
nobody can
Motown
recreate
thing.
it. I mean,
Yeah,
look at
because they don't
Makeup
play it
Faded
the
Blue
same way.
Jeans.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. They just, but I guess if you're listening to it, the perception of it, if you don't like do the deep dive on it, you get like this idea of like, oh no, that's how we do it. And it's like, no.
You have to study.
Yeah. Like, they pulled in musicians from a lot of these other genres.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what, and then, so it's a bit ironic for somebody to be like, that ain't real country. Merle Haggard taught us what real country was. And I'm like, well, Merle Haggard.
Yeah.
Did,
Who do you listen to?
Exactly.
And, yeah.
But
And
at the same
told-
time, I like the kind of tribalism of it in a way, because it like gives it some like a home base.
Yeah.
So at the
roots.
same time, the guy at the back of the bar that's like defending it with his life, like, that ain't country. There's a part of it that I can appreciate.
Yes.
He's kind of doing the dirty work I don't want to do.
Yeah.
In a way.
Or that you've already done is the thing.
Okay.
Like, I think when somebody's arguing what's country and not, I'm like, oh, they'll find out. They're just in it.
Yeah.
They're just in it right now.
Yeah.
You know, and I think once you go in that room and you feel it all and you do all your studying and you have, you just studied and taken everything in,
Yeah.
then you realize, oh, it doesn't matter. What matters is what they were feeling and what they were making. And,
Yeah.
But I told the guy in New York, I was like, and don't be thinking that Texans do it one way.
Mm.
It's like, you could go to the footwear stockyards and there's I told him like, we need Pams and sissies. Like, you need both. And I was like, in the stockyards, you'll get a place That's a pan bar. It's fancy. It's a club. They're line dancing. Everybody there. Nobody there is like ranchy or punchy or something.
Yeah.
I go, and it's next door to Little Red's Longhorn, which is as straightforward honky tonk as you can get. So don't be, just because there's different vibes, like that's good. You're widening your umbrella of country music in your town. But this kid came up to me, and I had stressed kid came up to me in the stockyards one time. We went out. My friend and I would go out to meet some dudes, and they stood us up. But yeah.
Oh my gosh, let's talk about it.
I would love to tell that story, but bring me back to it.
All right,
I'm not going to say names, but it's hard out there for these girls. Anyway.
Wait, you were meeting dudes or girls?
No, it's hard out there for the girls meeting
gotcha.
dudes.
Okay. Quick
We'll
clarification.
go back to that. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's loop back. This kid recognized me or whatever, the group of kids, and he was like, "Oh, I'm trying to. Do you have any advice?" And I was like, "Yeah, like what do you want? What's your goal? You want to be performer, songwriter? Who do you like? What's your goals? He's like, I just want to be different. I want to be different. I was like, okay, who do you like? And he's like, I like, I don't even know their names, but Riley Green, the hot one, right? He's the hot one, right?
Okay.
And
he said, I want to be different, right?
But he named those.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can probably list off.
You know exactly where, but I was not going to discourage him.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, then I would quit worrying about TikTok and what those guys are doing. He liked Cody Johnson. I remember him saying that name. And it was everybody fresh. He didn't mention anybody with roots.
Sure.
And I was like, you think about who those guys listen to. I go, you go in there and you study and you rewrite all these old songs in your head. And he's like, well, I'm not going to copy anybody. I want to be different. I'm like, okay, you can only break the rules if you know the rules. So if he's listing no offense to these guys, Riley Green and Cody Johnson as his heroes, it's like this guy doesn't have a foundation of who he is as an artist at all.
Did you tell him this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, we kind of tiffed because he thought I was telling him to copy Merle Haggard or something, And I was like, well, if you write, nobody ever has to hear these songs, but I'm just saying, learn the formula, learn the rules, so then you authentically break it when you're being yourself.
Yeah, because he's being arrogant to think that he's actually going to successfully copy him.
Well, he doesn't. Well, there's that too. I don't think he even thought of that.
So it's like his failure, and what he doesn't understand is his failure in trying to sound like them is going to help him find himself.
Yeah,
and
that's a good point.
That's where the freaking magic happens.
Yeah. Yeah, and I just wanted to roll my eyes and watch him become incredibly famous because of TikTok.
Sure. Which I'm not opposed to.
That's fine.
Yeah.
It's 2025, dude.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to it at all.
There's aliens in the ocean and stuff. Who knows?
There's got to be a point too, though, that there is like a separation right now, though, that like there's people that have huge social media followings that people don't listen to their music a ton. And then vice versa, there's some people that don't have very big social media stuff and they just crush it on like streaming and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then there's all the stuff in between. Like there's people that crush it and have a bunch of streaming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean we're definitely at a point that like if you could have what I think, granted it's just like an opinion at the end of the day, but what I think is pretty weak music, not very good. But if you know how to like make it connect with people visually through video in a really short format, like you can have a massive music career.
Well, no longer is this an invisible art.
Invisible art.
Like music's not an invisible art anymore. It used to be a complete audible art.
Well, I mean, MTV changed that.
Yeah.
I feel like we're just in the MTV the same way. Like the good thing is there's less barriers to entry. Think about being in the 90s or something. That like if you wanted to make it, you had to have a record deal and they had to get you on MTV.
And how did they even find you?
And how few people got that opportunity.
Gosh, even in college, I was at Tech from 98 to 02 trying to get gigs. We didn't even have email addresses.
Yeah.
I literally walked in with my guitar and auditioned.
Yeah.
Or some people would hear me at a party and be like, go get, you should play at Bleachers or whatever, Blue Light, This is before Blue Light was Blue Light,
Oh, there was bleachers.
Bleachers was across the street.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but Blue Light was not, like the whole back part was not there. That was, Tom's, like all of it was way different back then. But it was 20 something years ago.
Like pre-internet, like I'm pretty sure I wouldn't even be in music. Like I live out here. I was a horseshoer. Like I had to make a living. So I had to be doing both and like pursue music while I was running a business just to make it work. It's like I would have had to have moved to Nashville or LA, maybe gotten a record deal. Maybe they allowed me to put my music out. And then maybe it did well enough to make another record.
Yeah.
Like that's a lot of maybes.
I guess there's just different maybes now.
Agreed. It's tough, because like I try not to focus on like too much on, I just try to focus on the opportunities, not necessarily the barriers to entry. Because there's a ton of opportunity.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of, it is pretty pure right now too, though, in a way. I know I'm saying a lot of stuff that doesn't, like I disagree with myself a lot because it's just a tough thing. Because you can just put out a song and it just catches fire. And there's nobody deciding. There's no middleman. There's no radio promoter. There's no record label. There's no manager deciding this is a hit. We're going to put it out to the people.
I just did that on Friday. I didn't use anybody.
Yeah, you just put it out. It's like that thing catches. That's about as pure as it gets in terms of.
In 2025.
Yeah, and even in relation to how the music industry's ever been.
Yeah.
But with that, you get a lot of what most people would think is bad music gets really popular. You still get some of that.
Yeah.
More than...
Well, you contradict or you disagree with yourself because there's no one way to do it. If there was a one way to do it, we'd all get that book on tape and we'd learn it and we do it. There's no one way to do it. Like we were talking about people with numbers that don't match their careers and vice versa. So like what's frustrating is these artists are trying to get on a label, which please call me if you're trying so hard to get on a label. There's other ways to do things.
Hot take.
But yeah, hot take, hot sports opinion. Yeah. They're like, no, we don't take anybody with less than 20K followers and blah, blah, blah. When they've got a whole roster of people with the numbers that don't match that.
Agreed.
And so
that's booking
like,
agents, managers, record labels. Yeah, they give me
or they give you the popular no. Like the popular no right now is I don't have the bandwidth. I don't have the business bandwidth to take you on.
I just tell them maybe I just think you need to pivot so we can synergize together.
Ooh, synergize.
Yeah, but I think we probably need to get a solid pivot in there. Just hit them back with some more corporate jargon.
Yeah.
That'd be funny. Bandwidth. Give me a break.
Bandwidth.
Then you look at their whole roster and you're like, you got that bandwidth?
You're like, oh, it must be me.
That's
when I start to spiral, TBH. Yeah. As an artist. I think like I'll get a little bit of something. I'm like, all right, I'm going to try to seize this momentum I have right now. And I'll kind of go after, I'll chase, which is the problem. And I'll chase. And then they'll tell me, oh no, we're taking on artists with this, or I don't have the bandwidth. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I dealt with this in the last 6 months. This, I don't want to, this group, put it that way. They were like, oh no, I don't, I can't take on anybody else. My clients right now, I don't have the time. And then like a month or so later, announcing a new artist on their roster. And it's like,
hurts.
Cool. So you did have time. And then I start thinking, oh, it's because I'm bad or because I'm too old or I'm too country or I'm, and then I start that spiral.
Oh yeah.
Gosh, which is such a vulnerable thing to talk about because, but that's so real. And then I have to just go for a walk and have a cup of water because that's what solves everything, right?
Sunshine, the self-doubt thing is brutal.
Oh, it's so bad.
Yeah, I get it big time.
It's so bad. And when I hear artists that are way bigger than me go through the same stuff, I'm like, oh, it doesn't get better, which somehow makes it better.
Yeah. Which, at the end of the day, you have to find something within that's driving you. Booger.
Like hearing that Linda Ronstadt thought she couldn't sing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she would be really self-conscious. There's this story about her singing, and she didn't want it put out on this live thing because these two women on the front row were whispering, and she was dead
Oh,
set
yeah.
that they were talking about that she couldn't sing. So she had this, and I'm like, so hearing that Linda Ronstadt thinks she couldn't sing when she's the standard of a vocal female vocalist, it's like, whoa, it's all right here.
I know there's the self-criticism is so important to create something that's special, but then to be able to turn it off. Like I played a sold out little acoustic thing a while ago, and like I mean it's pin drop in there, like everybody listening, right? And
That's fun.
like, and they obviously all bought tickets because they like my music, and I will walk up on stage there, and in my head I'm like, I've already written out my set list, and like there's no debating on what I'm gonna play. And I genuinely get up there, and like when I'm sitting in the chair, I'm like the first song I look at, I'm like, well, they don't want to hear that.
That's terrible. They're gonna hate that.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
they don't want to hear any of my music.
Yeah.
You know, I should just like play all covers. It's like, what are you talking?
I know.
Like immediately have that inner dialogue of
Yeah.
like, what?
When these people spent money that they worked for.
Yeah. It's
come listen
yeah, it's
to-
insane. How could you have that thought?
You know what? Some of it, I just realized this. Some of it is how simple a song can be. You just thought it. It just came from your conscience. And people want to pay money to hear it. You're like, what? This is like, I don't know. That's a weird thing. It's
yeah,
because
because like,
it's
what's
a-
it
it's just-
worth?
yeah.
Good
I
luck.
don't know.
Good luck with that.
I just sat on the edge of my bed.
Like when I first started
Wrote a
playing,
song.
it's like go play the backyard barbecue for $100, and like now I charge significantly more than that, and it's like, well,
102.
what's it worth?
Yeah.
Like, come on, like so you can get totally lost in that. It's
Yeah.
not worth anything really. There's nothing tangible about it.
Yeah.
How you make people feel. That's why it's so difficult on the psyche, because it's so directly attached to whether or not people like you.
We have circled all the way back to the very beginning of this
And
conversation.
I just don't really buy it when artists tell me like, I don't care if anyone likes me. I'm like, not true.
Sure to post a lot of selfies.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's so directly attached to how you make people feel, which is a totally untraceable, unobjective thing.
Yeah.
So you live by that sword, you die by that sword. It just
Yeah.
comes with the territory.
You know, maybe knowing I make them feel good drives me too. Like there's women that'll come up after a show, especially off my record before, which is much more visceral, natural, writing songs about being the kind of woman I am kind of deal. And women will come up and they'll be crying and talking about these certain songs.
Oh, I did it
Microphone
again.
just fell. I'll just hold it.
You don't have to do
I
that.
don't mind.
Okay.
God gave me 2 arms.
Aren't you? We keep it super professional here with my unthreaded. Yeah.
It's fine.
Sorry.
Or is there any film in that camera?
Oh yeah, no, I'm not hip enough on film. I was trying to come up with
I
like
was quoting Wayne's World.
Oh really?
We all know there's no film in this camera.
Oh.
I never learned to read.
I thought
you
that was
know?
like the classic, like when you're in the studio now and somebody will be like, "Can I take another take?" And they're like, "Well, I don't know. We're about to run out of tape."
Oh,
Have you not heard the engineer like?
yeah. Well, I've done it. I mean, for real on an analog album.
I've never done.
Dude, my
sit-take.
last one
Yeah.
was completely analog.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Holy cow! So
Not-
that
not-
newest single you just put
That's
out
not
though.
analog.
Oh, okay, okay.
No,
Which
no,
is
that's
dope,
80s, dude.
by the
Thanks.
way. Yeah.
It's a cover.
No, I know,
I
but it's
felt
like
real-
a deep cut cover.
It is. I felt real self-conscious putting out a cover as a single. I was like, I'm a songwriter. What am I doing? You know?
Oh,
But I
yeah.
was in the mood to have a good time. Like it's a song we used to cover on stage all the time, and it fits me, fits my voice, and fits my. I noticed it, and my fans all liked. I hate the word fans. My listeners all liked it, and so we just kind of recorded it and put it out,
Mhm.
and it's been really fun. It's the first time I've done a music video.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
Huh. That's kind of surprising.
I know. First time I've done like a legit music.
How was
video.
that?
I felt real corny, but I think the video looks badass.
Yeah, isn't it weird?
Yeah.
You look back at it and you're like, oh, I'm not that goofy.
You know what I love about the video, besides the badass cars that are in it, is it's a very provocative, sexy video. But the whole song is about being, propositioned to hook up with this guy. And so I just leaned into that. And the video is really sexy and provocative, but there's no boobies and butts.
Okay.
It's just sexy, which is cool. That's what I wanted. And that's what we did. It felt weird. I had to like lock into something that I don't normally lock into, but I do lock into it on stage. So one reason we wanted to record this song is because I didn't like my gap between my recorded stuff and my stage stuff. On stage, I try, I move a lot, I dance a lot, it's sexy, it's loud, it's in your face. And my song, all my records are real songwritery. And I was like, okay, I need to fill this gap. So I used my.
Do you feel like when people come see your live show, is it almost jarring for them to a certain degree?
They love it.
No.
I
mean in the sense of what they thought it was going to be. Like it kind of throws them off.
Sometimes maybe. I don't know. Like I use a fan. There's always wind in my hair. I get in there. Maybe because it's different than my other shows, but like we'll do a breakdown on the show sometimes, and I'll do the songwritery part.
Okay.
But like,
well, you're talking about the gap between like.
I don't know if they're shocked. I've never thought about that.
Huh.
I don't know. Maybe.
But you wanted to have some music that maybe like on record that maybe represented
the live sound
a little bit more.
That's my goal right now for everything I'm recording for the next until I change my mind.
Yeah.
I don't know how long it's going to be.
Well, so what would be the difference in how you're approaching the songs in the studio?
I use my live players.
Okay.
I've never used my dudes. I've always used session people. My friends, but people that are session.
Your record sounds so good.
Thank you.
Like it's like that newest single too, like the drum tones. And like you've got that dry, dead.
It's the driest cymbals we could find, dude.
Yeah. Well, even like the snare and stuff.
Snare's dry.
Yeah.
Kevin
super
Skurla
splatty.
produced that.
Where'd you record it?
Kevin Skurla built his own studio, which sometimes those are like means a garage, but this is a beautiful.
Yeah, but nowadays
it's a beautiful. You can get a lot done in a garage,
yeah.
but this is a beautiful. He's got a lot of vintage equipment and gear in there, and it's called Wolf Island in Dayton, outside Houston, on his family farm.
Really?
So breaks are nice. You can go out and.
So where did you get into like really cutting records and like understanding maybe the production side of like what goes into all that? Like when
well, a super honest answer is studying a lot.
Yeah.
And then the other people in my band are country music nerds that study, and our van conversations 85% of the time are about that. About who's playing on what, and I'll listen to these drums, how they do that, who's it playing, and we'll call somebody in the van who knows a person like Losberg played drums on this Amber Digby album, so let's call Losberg and see what kind of steel or what kind of snare he used, and he'll be like, oh, I used a whatever, then we'll buy one off Reverb and try to get. I mean,
yep.
From being nerds,
have you noticed a lot of front people are. Okay, let me say it this way. I've noticed a lot of front people are far less interested in that stuff than I ever could have imagined.
I definitely don't know as much as my dudes do. As my dudes know.
Sure.
That's not.
But like I can hear it in certain people's music. I'm like, oh yeah. I'm like, they give a shit. Like,
I have some friends that are not front men, but they play in a lot of bands, and they have a lot of singers that the bands that they're in. And they do say, and I took this as a huge compliment because I care. I'm very selective on my stage band, very selective. And I think we've finally set a precedent of what kind of players, if you're playing with me, I know we've set a precedent of what that means.
Yeah. Sick.
And so, it's one of my biggest accomplishments in music, I think. But this guy was like, yeah, when you sing with us, we feel like we're your band. Some front people get up and we feel like it's karaoke.
Oh.
And there's a disconnect between what the singer is doing and what the band is doing. And I guess I never thought about that. And I took that as a huge compliment.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I wonder what he means by that specifically. I wonder if that's like a groove thing or I
just think it's the artist, I think the singer is probably just concentrating on what they're doing, and
okay,
that's it. Not trying to create something on this stage together.
Okay.
Everybody's got a job. Part of my job is to sing and perform, and I won't think about them, and I'll do that. But we've curated all of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's I love that part of it. My favorite part of this whole business
I
is
think it's the
performing.
hardest part. Personally.
Hardest part?
Yeah, like getting a band together and keeping a band together and just getting the right players. And it's so fleeting because you just have good shows where you're like, man, we were locked in.
Yeah. When you have a couple of years of this is it.
Yeah.
And then something happens. Somebody gets pulled up to a band that can pay them 5 times what I pay, you know.
Oh, well, but honestly, the band thing is a little bit like you were describing with like industry people where it's like we don't have the bandwidth or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like sometimes I've gotten hit with the band stuff where it's like they've left for other stuff where it's like they don't get paid as good. They don't get treated as good. And I'm like, what's going on there?
Oh, it's definitely you then.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, yeah, that's what
Not
I would
now.
think. Oh, you don't like my music? You don't like the way I organize things?
Exactly. Yeah. And then they're rarely truthful when they leave.
And that goes into the hang.
I just,
You know.
I feel like I can get along with most people
You seem that way.
as long as they're not just like having a bad attitude and complaining all the time
Yeah.
and stuff. Like I'm just like,
Or
oh, that's weird. Don't.
Too much of a, like they're a liability sometimes.
Oh, sure.
There's those kind of
I've
players.
had a relatively early on. It was really tough, but I mean, I've had the same guys for a long time, and I love them to death, and they're awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think part of it too is like just finding other guys that also. I'm not a great salesman, so I just don't like to talk about, you know, that classic frontman thing where it's like, oh, we got an investor. Oh, I'm talking to these people, and they're always talking about all this great stuff they got going on.
Yeah.
And then nothing really ever happens.
It's not really their business.
But I always kind of feel bad about like, I feel like I'm BSing them if I'm always like telling them all this great stuff we're going to do and all these great opportunities. But on the flip side, like if I'm never telling them anything, then they're like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
If
Is
you
this
kinda
going
gotta give 'em-
anywhere?
Yeah. You kind of got to
We're
give
just
them
going to keep
some.
playing these same places every night?
Yeah. But I did a really bad job of like communicating good things.
I think I over communicate everything with my band. I think I'm very organized, and I don't like not knowing what's going on. I like being very prepared so that when I show up, I can chill because I know what's happening.
Yeah.
I know what we're all wearing. You know, I've got it all organized. I think sometimes they don't care, and I'll over communicate. So I'm trying to learn how to just kind of communicate with them what they need to know, and then I'll just soak in everything else.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think it's like a cathartic thing that you're like trying to like just get stuff out from
Well,
like an anxiety standpoint?
Yeah, maybe I care a lot.
Yeah.
And my dad has to remind me all the time, as much as my guys love me and I love them and they want us to succeed, no one's going to care and think about this as much as I do. And it takes up 90% of me.
Yep.
I love to talk about it. I could do this for 6 more hours right now.
Yeah.
But I've got to turn it off and just let them play the music. That's what, you know. They do care though.
Yeah.
You know. And every once in a while they'll give me a compliment and I'm like, oh man, I needed that. You know, I needed that.
Just a little words of affirmation. Just a little.
Yeah.
bit.
You know what I need to hear from my band more often? I brag about how great they are all at play, at their skill
Yeah.
that they use with me all the time. I would love to hear them tell me I'm a good singer or them tell me I'm a good songwriter, good performer. And I'd flat out told them, hey, you know what I need from y'all? I need more compliments. Sorry, but I need more compliments from you guys.
Here's a woe is me
It's not happening yet.
Scenario. Like the idea of, like for instance, a hot girl. Most people think she goes through her whole life just getting all these compliments, and she's got, you know, she's probably a little too big for her britches. So
yeah, she gets hit on all the time.
Exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Ironically, she's intimidating, so nobody compliments her.
I
And
hate
most people
that
are
word.
jealous, so they never compliment her. She never gets hit on because the guys are intimidated. So the very thing you think she's getting all the time, it like never happens. But then everybody's overcompensating the other direction because they think it's happening. So then people are kind of mean. They're like mean to her. So then actually, conversely, the only thing she gets is just people being kind of rude to her.
Or looking for mistakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so like doing the frontman thing, you do get like a lot of maybe social credibility and stuff. And there are times that like you get like super flattered by people, which is great. But sometimes like people can overcompensate the other direction because they think you're getting that all the time.
Yeah.
That they'll be like overly like just kind of rude and like go the other direction. I
Yeah.
get that quite a bit. I also have a super punchable face, so
Oh, I don't think so.
it's a condition. No, I got diagnosed.
Oh,
Yeah. No, it's a real thing.
you get injections?
Well, nowadays everybody's got to be a victim, so you have to have like something you stand for.
Yeah.
You know? Like I
Yeah.
have a condition.
Yeah.
You know, that's outside of my.
Oh, I can't
ability.
help it.
I can't change my face.
Yeah.
You know, feel bad for me.
I think I got distracted. Oh, and people and the compliments, like, I say I need to hear it from them. And it's weird because I do hear wonderful compliments all the time on Facebook and Instagram and at the merch table. And it's weird how, even though I'm listening to them, they sound different and feel different coming from other people. Like, whoa, it's the guys that hear me and the same jokes, the same comedy night after night at the shows. Like, if they thought I was good, it would mean a lot more to me or it would mean a different amount than my fan that paid money to get there. You know, why is that?
I wonder.
Those guys are getting paid.
Agreed.
The people that paid money to come see me, why does that compliment not feel the same? There's a woman crying in front of me because I shared my feelings with her in song, and she paid money to get there, and she looks awesome. She got ready for the night. How come that doesn't stick with me as much? Just are super vulnerable.
I personally think it's because as a performer, that there's certain little tricks that you can do that might be able to pull some emotion or affection from somebody.
Maybe.
But deep down, they're just tricks that you learned. And you can't pull the trick on your drummer because he's seen like he sees the mirrors back there that are
or when I'm
making
just
it
learning a song or something. Yeah.
And he knows the trick. He knows how the magic is done.
Yeah.
And so when you're able to like still pull a magic trick on him, it's like, whoa.
Yeah, you're totally right. Or it's not a magic trick.
You could probably get lost in that to a certain degree because some of those magic tricks are cool.
Yeah. Yeah, when a fan's like, oh, I just love your voice. And I'm like, actually, I can't really sing. I'm just dancing around with wind in my hair, singing a song that you like. And you're just, that's probably what's in my head. And that's so dumb.
It is.
Why don't I believe her?
Yeah. I'm the same way. I'm the same way. It's that self-deprecating thing going like too far. You just can't take a compliment.
Why do we do that?
Because we're terrified of like being a douchebag.
And there's so many really good people.
It's so good.
Yes.
So good.
I look at these other singers and I'm like, I could never.
No.
Or sometimes especially a male will call me to collab. And I'm like, I don't have a chick voice. I'm probably in the same range as you, dude. So you're going to throw out a song at me and I'm not going to be able to sing it because I can't sing in the typical female key. Typically.
Yeah. You just have a lower voice.
Got a lower voice.
I personally like that.
Trauma.
Though.
No, I'm just kidding.
Why'd you point
People
at your
say
whole
that.
body?
People say, "Oh, you're so funny. Thanks. I'm traumatized."
Oh, okay.
It's that kind of thing.
You just almost traumatized me.
I've always
with two going trauma. I was like, oh God,
what's about to happen?
Throw that hot potato in my lap.
Yeah, that's what my first dates are like.
Yeah,
no, just kidding. They're not.
Yeah. I've been on a ton of first dates.
I haven't.
Married now.
Yeah,
but
you've been married a while.
Yeah, 6 years.
Yeah,
but that was like one of the only first dates that I got a second date. Well, because I just say it like, this is who I am.
Yes.
And then that doesn't go, you don't get a lot of second dates doing that.
My brother didn't date somebody for longer than 6 months until he got married.
See, it's probably the way it should be. You just cut through all the BS.
Yeah, he told me, he's like, Summer, one day you'll find somebody that makes everybody else look like shit. And that's how you know
it's obvious.
That's somebody. Yeah.
Same way with a song. Sometimes it just goes, oh, that's it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Delete everything else I've ever put out.
Yeah.
I want this one to be there.
So you're playing a bunch coming into the spring, summer?
We're sticking around Texas for a minute.
Okay.
And then we'll hit the road starting May. I've got some solo tours, which I'm excited. I'm nervous about that because it means just me.
Yeah, you can't
win those tickets.
Yeah.
So we're sticking around Texas a lot in the first quarter.
Okay.
Which is fun. I like that. And this is another sports opinion. I want to be an artist from Texas. Texas is a big part of my brand. I want to be an artist from Texas. I don't want to be a Texas artist though.
Okay.
So it's important to me to tour.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Yeah, I think it's important nowadays too. It's
Yeah.
just everything's so spread out. There's a lot of listeners everywhere.
It's cool that we live and play in a state that you can make a living in this state and never have to leave.
Unbelievable. Amazing.
Mm-hmm. Still drive 9 hours.
Like
not leave
just
the
last
state.
night
You
listening
can
to
tour this state.
listening to 95.9 The Ranch,
Yeah.
where he was just like, we play local artists that write their own songs. Just that simple thing is like, gosh, that doesn't happen literally anywhere else
It's
in
a
the
great
country.
station. Yeah.
Like nowhere else in the country does that happen.
Mm-hmm.
And you're gonna have people that buy tickets to come hear you play your own like stuff that you wrote without all like the machine behind it. It's incredible.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm with you.
When y'all air this, when y'all play this, is it played in the entirety or are going to make it shorter?
The podcast?
Yeah.
Oh no,
'Cause we've been talking a long time.
we just let it roll. I know
If anyone has been listening this entire time,
they will.
that's so.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, we cut a bunch of clips and stuff on TikTok too.
They comments and stuff too.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, we let it
And I'll be
rip.
tagged and all that so I can see it and reply.
Yeah. TikTok, Insta. What's the other one? Instagram, Facebook,
Instabook?
YouTube Shorts,
Facegram and Instabook.
Facegram, and Instabook.
Man,
Yeah,
Facebook
exactly.
wears me out. Facebook
Why?
wears me out.
Yeah, I don't really get on it.
I can't. Everything. If I post, it's because it populated over there. Oh, Facebook wears me out.
Yeah, I'm not into it. It's just super spammy.
It's super spammy. It's I can't figure it out. How come the main Facebook audience are 45 to 65, yet I can't figure Facebook out,
I just don't really think anybody's on it.
They're there.
Really?
They're there.
Huh.
And they buy tickets
But
and
they're
they
just
wanna
flicking.
come.
We think kids are the ones doom scrolling on these apps.
No.
It's like a 65-year-old person just they're just finding something they disagree with.
They will
They're
watch
just,
a video and they will read a caption. And then on TikTok, it's like, oh, you got to get them in the first 3 seconds or they're not there.
Yeah.
It's 3 different jobs. Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook are 3
Yeah, they're
different
entirely
jobs.
different.
And I'm just a songwriter.
Yeah, I mean, we just cut the clips and stick them on there. Some do good, some don't. But a lot of it's just having cool people. So
Yeah.
that's why I was excited to talk to you.
Thanks.
I like your honesty and your sincerity too, for real. Genuineness. It's
How do you do it if you're not?
super refreshing.
Yeah, like before we started and you said anything, like things you don't want to talk about,
Yeah.
I'll just steer you off if I don't.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a trick. It was a trick question.
Was it? You were recording?
You passed.
We can't talk about this. Or
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. Or like you just suddenly like turn on your accent or something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's on camera too. So
Yeah.
everybody's seeing that I slouch and I have a pooch. But you know what all this is? All this is a good time. Guys, if you see a girl that has a pooch, that means you're probably going to like eat a good dinner and drink some good beer with that girl. So don't think there's anything.
This podcast is brought to you by Pooches.
Yeah.
Go to http ://www.pooches.com.
You didn't just say the www, you said everything.
Well, you have to go to http ://facebook.com
Yeah.
/ Summerdine. Damn. Well, that's where we'll end it.
Okay.
I want to do it again at some point.
Sure.
Though. I could talk to you forever. You're
This
so
is, I
cool.
love to talk about this stuff.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, see y'all. Adios. Yeah, I've been on camera this whole time. Can you believe
What?
that? They gave me one. Where there was one, now there's 2.
Okay.
Just my rifle, my pony, and me. Don't wanna hang my sombrero on the limb of a tree.